head start?
18.
How could you possibly know that?
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
Oppenheimer is a gripping historical drama that chronicles the life of J. Robert Oppenheimer, the brilliant physicist whose work on the Manhattan Project fundamentally changed the course of history. The story follows Oppenheimer from his early academic pursuits to his pivotal role in developing the atomic bomb during World War II, offering a compelling mix of intellectual brilliance, moral dilemmas, and personal conflict. Updates suggest that the film delves deeply into the ethical and emotional ramifications of creating such a powerful weapon, exploring the tension between scientific achievement, military necessity, and human conscience. From the opening scenes, audiences are drawn into a narrative that balances historical accuracy with cinematic intensity, presenting Oppenheimer not just as a figure of history, but as a man wrestling with profound questions about responsibility and consequence. The protagonist, J. Robert Oppenheimer, is portrayed as intensely intelligent, driven, and complex, possessing both visionary insight and personal vulnerability. Updates indicate that his character arc explores the immense pressures of scientific innovation under wartime urgency, as well as the personal costs of ambition and ethical compromise. Audiences witness his growth from a curious and dedicated physicist into a central figure responsible for one of the most consequential technological achievements in human history. The narrative emphasizes Oppenheimer's internal struggles, as he balances scientific curiosity with moral reflection and the awareness that his work could alter the fate of millions. The plot centers on the development of the atomic bomb, tracing the inception of the Manhattan Project, the recruitment of top scientists, and the intense collaborative effort required to bring theoretical physics into practical, destructive application. Updates suggest that the story captures both the technical challenges and the interpersonal dynamics of this historic endeavor. Conflicts arise not only from the scientific hurdles and logistical pressures, but also from the ethical tensions between achieving victory in war and grappling with the consequences of unleashing unprecedented destructive power. These layers of conflict create a narrative that is both intellectually engaging and emotionally charged. Supporting characters enrich the narrative, including fellow scientists, military officials, and personal acquaintances who influence Oppenheimer's journey. Updates indicate that figures such as Niels Bohr, General Leslie Groves, and colleagues on the project contribute both to the scientific progress and to the moral discourse surrounding the work. These interactions reveal the complexities of collaboration under pressure, the negotiation of differing ethical stances, and the personal sacrifices made by individuals in pursuit of monumental achievement. Relationships are characterized by a mix of admiration, tension, and ethical debate. Emphasizing the human dimension of historical events, the film explores profound moral and philosophical questions. As updates suggest that Oppenheimer's growing awareness of the atomic bomb's potential destruction leads to deep introspection. He grapples with the responsibility of unleashing a weapon of mass devastation, the ethical implications of scientific progress, and the personal consequences for those involved. The narrative emphasizes the tension between duty and conscience, highlighting the internal struggle of a man who is celebrated for genius yet haunted by the potential consequences of his creation. This duality forms the emotional backbone of the story, creating a narrative rich in both intellect and pathos. Visual storytelling plays a key role, with updates indicating that the film juxtaposes the stark, industrial environments of research laboratories with the vast, open landscapes of testing sites. Cinematic sequences depict the tension of scientific experimentation, the meticulous precision of theoretical calculations, and the explosive spectacle of atomic testing. Lighting, framing, and camera movement are used to underscore both the scale of the project and the intimate, human moments of decision, reflection, and conflict. The visual narrative ensures that historical context and personal drama are seamlessly integrated, maintaining both suspense and emotional resonance. Sound design and music enhance the immersive experience, with updates suggesting that the score alternates between tense, suspenseful motifs during experimental and military sequences, and more. Contemplative themes during moments of personal reflection. The auditory landscape underscores both the scientific intensity of the Manhattan Project and the moral weight of Oppenheimer's decisions. Sound effects, from the mechanical hum of laboratory equipment to the deafening power of the bomb's detonation, amplify tension and reinforce the narrative's emotional stakes. Ensuring that viewers are engaged both intellectually and viscerally, the climax of the film centers on the Trinity test, the first detonation of an atomic bomb, and the immediate and long-term consequences of this momentous event. Updates indicate that the sequence combines technical detail with human drama, capturing both the awe-inspiring scale of scientific achievement and the moral reckoning faced by those who made it possible. Oppenheimer's reaction to the test, along with the responses of his colleagues and military overseers, provides a poignant exploration of triumph, fear, and ethical reflection. This moment crystallizes the central themes of the story: the intersection of human ingenuity, responsibility, and the unpredictable consequences of transformative technology. Character development extends beyond Oppenheimer himself, as updates suggest that colleagues and supporting figures also confront personal and professional dilemmas. Scientists wrestle with loyalty, ambition, and ethical considerations, while military officials navigate the pressures of wartime strategy and accountability. Personal relationships are tested by secrecy, ethical disagreement, and the emotional toll of participating in unprecedented events. These arcs contribute to a multidimensional narrative, illustrating the human complexity behind historical milestones and reinforcing the story's thematic depth. The narrative also explores post-war consequences, including the political and social ramifications of the atomic bomb. Updates indicate that Oppenheimer faces scrutiny, public debate, and personal reflection in the aftermath of his work. These sequences highlight both historical events and psychological realism, exploring themes of responsibility, public perception, and the enduring ethical questions raised by technological advancement. By depicting the aftermath, the film ensures that the story resonates beyond the immediate action, emphasizing the lasting significance of the Manhattan Project and its human protagonists. Thematic exploration is central to Oppenheimer, emphasizing the intersection of science, ethics, and humanity. Updates suggest that the narrative examines how innovation can produce both progress and devastation, how individuals navigate moral responsibility under extraordinary circumstances, and how history is shaped by both brilliance and consequence. The film balances intellectual discourse with emotional storytelling, ensuring that audiences are challenged to consider both historical fact and ethical reflection. Themes of legacy, moral ambiguity, and the weight of knowledge permeate the story, creating a rich, thoughtful cinematic experience. Action, tension, and suspense are woven into both scientific and personal dimensions of the story. Updates indicate that moments of technical problem-solving, experimental uncertainty, and interpersonal conflict are staged to maintain engagement, combining cerebral tension with dramatic stakes. The narrative alternates between quiet, contemplative sequences and high-stakes events, such as the development of the bomb and political negotiations, ensuring that pacing is dynamic and immersive. These sequences reinforce character development while maintaining viewer investment in both plot and theme. The resolution provides both closure and reflection, as updates suggest that Oppenheimer reconciles with the consequences of his work while acknowledging the complexity of historical and personal responsibility. Characters reflect on the ethical, social, and personal dimensions of their actions, emphasizing themes of accountability, legacy, and human resilience. The story concludes with a nuanced portrayal of triumph and regret, celebrating scientific achievement while confronting the moral implications of its application. This balance ensures a satisfying narrative that is intellectually engaging, emotionally resonant, and historically grounded. Ultimately, Oppenheimer delivers a compelling blend of historical drama, ethical inquiry, and character-driven storytelling. Updates suggest that it balances intense narrative focus, intellectual depth, and emotional resonance, creating a cinematic experience that is both thrilling and thought-provoking. Through the exploration of J. Robert Oppenheimer's life and work, audiences encounter questions of morality, responsibility, and human ingenuity, gaining insight into one of history's most consequential scientific achievements. The narrative ensures that history, personal drama, and philosophical reflection coexist, providing a rich, immersive, and enduring cinematic journey for viewers.